Done. Finally, I collected all 900 seeds in Breath of the Wild. Can't wait to see what this game rewards me with. It has to be worth it, right? Man, what kind of absolute nerd would waste their time collecting all these little seeds? Seems like such a waste of... Yeah, I'll let you in on a secret. I do this a lot. I like to complete games. It's not only incredibly fun to get the Platinum Trophy for a game and see everything it has to offer, but it also helps you get the most out of your game. I'm a completionist, or in other words, I enjoy wasting my time collecting digital trophies to feel good about myself. Apparently completing games is a personality type thing. It varies from person to person. For some people, it might be the worst thing in the world. And for the other 5% of us, it's the best. I'm sure there are numerous personality types gamers can have, but let's simplify it to the Bartle's taxonomy of player types, which if you don't know about Bartle's taxonomy, it's basically a framework that categorizes personality types based on how we play games. It's a bit dated, so it may not be completely accurate to all people, but it will be a good starting point for us. There's the explorers, who are motivated by discovery, the socializers, who are motivated by the connection with others, the killers, who are motivated by PvP and competition, and then there's the achievers, which is mainly what I'll be talking about today. The achiever archetype are the gamers that enjoy achieving things. Yeah, no shit. They enjoy collecting everything, beating every boss, and of course, completing games. They like the feeling of progression. If there's a mechanic that can be mastered, they will most likely find a way to master it. They're basically like the losers of the gaming world. You know, finding meaningless purpose and doing a ton of fake tasks. But guess what? I'm one of those idiots.
I do not think achievers are idiots. I merely see myself as an idiot and want to do a funny bit.
Why do achievers do what they do? Well, I want to be good at game. Achievers will usually try their hardest to master whatever game they're playing. Difficult mechanics? Check. Exploration? Check. Big nuts syndrome? Double check. Takes quite a while to master a game, but completionists don't really care. They gotta do everything else along the way anyway. It makes them feel good to fill collectible slots or level stats to the max. Not only is it a personal thing, but it can also lead to status within gaming communities. Validation and status. For many achievers, it's about status and looking cool, Joker. What's cooler than showing a bunch of nerds how much of a nerd you are?
Nerd.
Much like how I have 57, count it 57 platinum trophies. Just wanted to bring that up because I thought it was cool. No other reason. We definitely don't complete games simply because a little man in our brain says, hey, go collect 900 seeds because I told you to. That'd be ridiculous, right? The little man in my brain told me so. Or in other words, the itch. Okay, that sounds a bit creepy to call it the itch, but that's basically what it is. This weird itch that makes your brain yell at you when you ignore incomplete tasks. This could stem from what is called the Zeigarnik effect, which is when incomplete tasks nag at the brain, and the Ovsiankina effect, which is the urge to complete incomplete tasks. This is something that is not exclusive to video games, obviously, but it could be more prevalent in completionists, which could be one of the many possible reasons as to why completionists do what they do. Leaving objectives and side quests incomplete for the normal person could mean nothing, but to completionists, it's more of an uncomfortable urge. Not to say we can't ignore them, but it's more fun to not ignore them. Both of these effects are what most likely influences a certain type of completionist, myself being one. Growing up, it was almost impossible to sit down and do anything without doing my daily chores first. Unfortunately, my siblings thought I was a little kiss ass. Meanwhile, that had nothing to do with it. The satisfaction that came from having all my things done, then enjoying what I wanted to do was a great feeling. Much like a drug addict, gamers can feel compelled by this hard drug that billions are addicted to, called dopamine. The dopamine loop is dangerous. Anyone can get caught into it if they're not careful. And completionists love this loop. Do thing make good noise or give satisfying reward, commence dopamine. Hence why after literally almost a decade, I hear the kill sound from Garden Warfare 2 and just... Completionists love to feel good about checking everything off on the checklist. Not only good, but oh so satisfying.
Thanks.
I lost something once. I lost something I couldn't live without. My identity. Or in other words, my platinum trophy.
Some gamers tie their own self-identity to the amount of plats they have. Hey, no, get out of here. It's not like their inherent value in finishing games or collecting trophies. It only really serves to feed into a gamer's enjoyment of a game. You see, it's sort of like doing these sand pattern things monks do, where it takes a super long time to make some cool sand art, but instead of destroying it, we hoard it and brag about it online. Yeah, it's basically the same thing monks do. Probably. Is it even monks? Is it a religious thing? Is it Japanese? I don't know, man. I'm not Google. But I could use Google. That's okay. It's funny if I don't. All of these different facets of completion may or may not apply to most completionists. But in most cases, which is apparently not very many, a completionist has at least one of these traits. The satisfaction of completion comes from the enjoyment of doing the journey, rather than the joy of completing it. Ironic, I know. Does good game design affect this? Of course it does. When a completionist is interested in doing a group of trophies, it becomes quickly apparent how much they give a shit about completing the game when checking the trophy list. Collecting 900 poop seeds in Breath of the Wild? I'm not that crazy. Plat Crash 4 twice? You got it, big man. Mostly speaking from the perspective of someone who views how I could potentially complete a game even before I start it. Planning how to approach collecting all the achievements or completing the game is its own kind of game. I know this isn't a new idea by any stretch. Rasputin, another video essay YouTuber, I say that as if we are equals in the slightest. Let me clarify. A successful video essay YouTuber has done a video discussing why he doesn't complete games. He goes on to discuss how he used to complete them, but found himself hating the games he did complete. This hatred that comes from completing games is very real. Not only is it just straight up burnout from doing the same things over and over, but completing a game also means you usually have to take on the most brutal challenges the game has to offer, whether they are fair or not. I'm looking at you, FF7 Rebirth. That final Sephiroth fight on hard mode makes my skin crawl. Ugh. But a game that has a really bad completion design can quickly change your mind. When you realize completing a game is doing something mindlessly for hundreds of hours, it gets to a point where this game that you were so eager to complete because the main game was fantastic is not even worth your time because it will ruin how you feel about the game. So can that be chalked up to bad design, or is it just burnout? Well, probably both. Maybe. Probably. Bad completion design can be exhausting. It can take an already brutally difficult challenge and make it 10 times worse. Obviously, what is a slog to some people may be just fine to others. No issue whatsoever, but those people are psychopaths, and you shouldn't trust them. In my opinion, completing a game should always be a difficult challenge. By deciding to take that challenge on, you're stepping up to the game and saying, bring it on. Can it be a cozy experience? Sure. Games like Stardew Valley or Animal Crossing are very chill with how you complete games. You're not fighting through brutal boss rushes, you're collecting things and farming. Although this may sound easy, it's incredibly time-consuming and monotonous in nature, especially since completion for these games usually includes collecting literally everything. The definition of what is challenging for completing a game is very subjective. While some people find no issue in spending hundreds of hours completing all 3 profiles from Binding of Isaac, others will not even bother because they feel like collecting all the collectibles is a waste of time. Maybe this is just because my masochistic nature, but I like the challenge. When a game is too easy, then it almost makes me wonder what the point of the game is. In the wise words of the Dunkster,
well, if I can't lose, why isn't this just a movie?
If completing games was easy, then what's the point? Things like platinum trophies would be meaningless. There'd be no appeal to complete a game. Games would probably get completed more often, but it wouldn't really be that fun. What I'm trying to say is that completion should be hard but fair. Some developers take this to the extreme and require hundreds upon hundreds of hours to complete a game. Well, this seems excessive. It's a rare challenge that almost feels mystical in a weird way. The fairness comes from what the devs expect of you for completion and how much thought they put into it. A developer could just as easily throw in trophies saying to do blank 40,000 times and call it a day. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. When you design the game in such a way that every little trip you take off the beaten path gives you something beneficial for your main objective, you almost turn everybody into a little bit of a completionist. This was a quote from the lead developer Chris McEntee of a little game called Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I'm not going to go into too much detail about this concept because Rasputin has said all that needs to be said about it in his video on completion. I still think it's an incredible talking point for how to make completion fun and natural in gameplay. Completing a game should never be easy. It should always be hard to encourage those who are willing to take on the challenge to complete it. Do I think that every game needs to be knuckle-bleeding difficulty to complete? No, not really. I just think that there's a line that once crossed, you're basically signing an agreement saying, I am willing to take on this challenge. But that's the beautiful thing about completion. It's not like it's required to beat the game. You won't find many people complaining about the difficulty of collecting all the trophies, like game journalists would complain about the difficulty of the base game. It's not welcome to everybody, and it shouldn't be. There's a reason completion is done so rarely. It's hard 90% of the time, except if you're not counting shovelware games. But if you are counting shovelware games and bragging about it online, Winnie Hut Jr. is that way, sir. Obviously, I can't sit here and try to convince you that you, yes you, sir, should start completing games, because most of the people watching just aren't like that and probably wouldn't find it fun. Oh shit, you want examples of games that have good design versus bad design? Alright. Well, okay, let's do it. Super Mario Odyssey is a great example of satisfying completion. Each moon you accidentally find is a nice little oh shit moment that leaves you with another moon for your objective. Collecting moons is a great way to explore the map and find new secrets. It almost feels similar to a Metroidvania, how you can almost just get lost exploring. It's pretty satisfying, and despite my gripes about 900 seeds in Breath of the Wild, I did actually collect enough moons in Odyssey to cap out the moon counter. Speaking of Metroidvanias, Hollow Knight, that awesome game about bugs that definitely didn't get a sequel or whatever. Each collectible in Hollow Knight makes you stronger in one way or another. Could be finding money for upgrades or new tools to get to new areas. Hollow Knight is a really awesome way of making you want to find and explore every little nook and cranny. Both of these games are great at planting a little seed in your head that makes you want to explore, getting stronger, faster, more confident with the map, making you better at finding secrets. For the small percentage of people that are willing to take that extra step and push the game to absolute completion, will see that all the way to the end, albeit for no real reward in the end, except maybe personal satisfaction. Look, I'm not going to tell you how to enjoy your games. Like I said previously, I have completed 57 different games, and some of them were hell, while others were a fun little jaunt. One game that I will never complete is, and I'm sure this is very clear to you by now, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I think this game has bad completion. Yeah, I fucking said it, alright? You might be asking, well, Gamma, you collected 1,000 moons in Mario Odyssey. What's the difference? Well, viewer, the difference is that Mario Odyssey feels compelling to explore and find things. Breath of the Wild has this massive map with shit everywhere. And not that it's not compelling to explore, finding the shrines is a good enough reward already. I'm either spending way too much time exploring all the areas to find all the seeds, or looking at a guide and going through every area on the map, and both of those options sound like complete ass. They don't seem that fun or compelling, especially when my reward for my hard work is a golden turd. So why do we complete games? Well, because it's fun. Simple as that. It may seem a bit stupid at times, and even just a straight up waste of time. Oh, and let me assure you, sometimes it is. But we completionists find joy in pushing a game to its absolute limit while getting the most out of everything we can do. So what do you think, viewer? Do you think I wasted a large amount of my life on these stupid little digital trophies? What was your worst or best completed game? Maybe you want to complete a game but are nervous to start. Let me know in the comments below and I will most likely respond. So thanks again for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you like video game stuff, go check out my other content because, you know, I make other content. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Ciao.
Ah.